Hi kids, I got a malwam because I've been very good today and I set out a wind lots of times. And this foot really hurts because it's got all sand on it.
We're back again!
We're back again.
Aren't we?
This has got sand on and it's so hurt.
What's happened to this? Yes. Amber has hurt her foot, haven't you, darling?
Yeah, and I set out a wind lots of times.
Yeah, you did, didn't you? It's a good girl.
And it's got lots of sand on.
Sand? It's got sand on? Is this where it hurts? Or is that nice?
That's nice. And it hurts now when I do that.
Does it?
But it's just got a bruise.
Right then, let's go and show them what we're reading tonight. And what you've got in your hand. Show them what we're reading tonight. See
I'm
if you can
reading Can you whisper it out my ear?
Miss Splendid.
Little Miss Splendid.
Little Miss Splendid. Oh, how splendid of you. Splendid. 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 Oh, you've got a beautiful belly button, haven't you? Who gave you that? Me? Oh, thank you, darling. Did I? Oh.
And my foot is hurting again.
Foot's hurting again, guys. Let's see. Nice?
Yeah.
If you blow on feet, it's magic. Isn't it?
Yeah.
See it better. Show them what you got. Sit up, show them what you got.
A malwam.
Again?
Malwam.
Because you can't eat it lying down. Should never eat food lying down, guys. Do you know what will happen? What would happen, Amber?
We will choke.
She's right. We would choke. Do you want to sit up, darling? Well, we can't eat the sweet then because we're going to choke, aren't we? And we don't want that.
Sit up a little
Good
bit.
girl. Good. Sit up a little bit. Hang on. That's better. Right. Dun, dun, dun.
It's upside down.
Oh. Dun, dun, dun.
It's upside down.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's upside down.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's right.
Thanks, darling. Oh, it's upside down. No, Will, look. Oh, God. Oh, that's right. Dun, dun, dun.
It's upside down.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's right upside down.
Okay. What are you doing?
I've got cribs on my nose.
Quibs?
Yeah, cribs.
What are quibs?
No, cribs.
Quibs.
No, cribs.
Cribs.
Trying to say cribs.
Crisps.
Yeah, I got cribs.
You've got crisps. What are you talking about? Right.
Yeah.
You sure? Is it sand?
Yeah.
What is it? It's all right. Let's have a look at your hands. They're all right. Okay. Do you want me to open this?
No. I squashed it.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks, Dad.
You're welcome. Right. Amber is going to eat her malwam while I read the story. Upside down.
Upside down.
Good job we're not reading topsy-turvy. This is the story.
Yeah, and with the red one, I'm scared of that one.
You're scared of Little Miss Scary, aren't you?
Yeah. Nah.
Right. Little Miss Splendid. Are you guys sitting comfortably at home?
No.
No. Are you guys sitting comfortably on your sofa?
No.
No. Are you guys ready for your bed?
No.
Are you guys ready for the story?
No.
Do you guys say anything else but no?
No.
Little Miss Splendid looked out of her very splendid window. Thank you.
See? That is tight. That is tight. And he's Simon, and Vicky's downstairs, and William Dutton is downstairs, and I'm Billy.
Little Miss Splendid looked out of her very splendid window set in her most splendid house at her very splendid...
Have you got a special house? No.
And she smiled at her splendid garden. Oh, it's so splendid, she thought. Don't hurt me, please. And then she frowned. Do you know how to frown?
No.
Do that with your eyebrows. Little Miss Splendid looked out of a window. She frowned. What made her frown?
What?
She's cross, isn't she? What's happening? At the bottom of her garden, on the other side of a small stream, lived Mr. Mean. Unlike Miss Splendid's very large and most splendid house, Mr. Mean's house is very small and very run down. A not at all splendid house. In fact, the most unsplendid house one could ever imagine. Oh, it's got holes in the roof. Look, the glass is broken on the windows.
And the rain is going to come in.
That's right, the rain will come in. Like Spider. Down came the spider, here he comes on you. What's the one with the spider? In the rain. Down came the rain and washed it. Incy Wincy Spider. Isn't it?
Incy Wincy Spider climbed the water's bank. Down came the rain and washed the spider round. Out sailing the corn.
Out came the sun and dried up all the
rain.
So Incy
Spider
climbed up the spout again. Yay! I bet there's lots of spiders in that house because they can come down the hole in the roof. The roof! The roof! The roof is on fire! The roof! Sorry. Sorry. It's for another time.
Oh, wait.
The roof! The roof is on fire! The roof! The roof! The roof is on fire! Anyway, Mr. Mean was the sort of person who did not like spending money, especially on his house. I bet your parents know somebody that doesn't like spending money.
Daddy.
Maybe their parents on them. Anyway. Little Miss Splendid was the complete opposite. What do you mean, like me? Spend all my money on you. And she did not like having Mr. Mean as a neighbour. His house quite ruined her splendid view. It was on this particular morning as she stood looking out of her window that Miss Splendid had a great idea. She rang her builder, Mr. Trowel. Hello? Oh, Mr. Trowel! Hello! I haven't spoken to you in ages now. You know my splendid house. I've got an awful problem here. Do you think you'll come round and force it for me, she said.
Yeah.
And off he went. There he is. My, that is a big wall. I think I'm going to need more than one trowel, he said. What do you want me to do with it? Well, I want you to build it even higher, she said. How high? Another 20 foot? Yes. Why did she want to build this wall so high? Now, Mr. Mean also liked to look out of his window every morning. He had a...
He's got holes. Do you think Mr. Tiny would do about it?
What's he going to do about it? He looked out of his window with his smashed glass and his spidey widies and his incy winces and his tinsy winces. He had a splendid view of Miss Splendid's extraordinarily splendid house. And what made the view all the more splendid for Mr. Mean was the fact that it didn't cost him a single penny. Didn't it? No. I know. Mr. Mean was very unhappy because when he looked out of his window the next day, all he could see was this big brick wall that Builder Mr. Trowel had built.
Talk.
He wasn't very happy at all because he spoilt his view. What was he going to do? The next morning, when little Miss Splendid looked out of the window, she couldn't believe her eyes. There was a huge hole in her bedroom wall, and through the hole she could see Mr. Mean's ramshackle house. Oh! Ramshackle house. What's ramshackle mean?
Fire.
Fire.
Yeah. I said it at nursery.
Pardon?
See that at nursery.
You see a fire at nursery?
Yeah.
Of course you did. You've been in the wood. The wood is on fire. The roof. The fire's on fire. Miss Splendid was furious. She rang Mr. Trowel immediately. Hello, Mr. Trowel. Can you come round, please? I need my wall. Right out. I'll be there in a bit. Lunchtime, Mr. Trowel. Oh no. Oh. I think the video's going again, look. No. Oh, have you popped?
Yeah.
Oh, you stink bomb. Oh, they're not listening. Oh, it's a good job you haven't seen this. She's popped. And it's... Oh, can you smell it? Anyway. Let's be careful. Anyway.
But we lost in a story tonight.
We lost you a bit then. He rebuilt the wall. But the next morning, there was another hole in the wall. And so it went on all week.
It's freezed.
Overnight, Mr. Mean would knock a hole in the wall.
Freezed.
And then it hasn't. It's all right now. Get your hand out. Please. That's probably why it's messing up, because you keep touching it. Mr. Mean would knock a hole in the wall, and the next day Mr. Trowel would come and repair it. This went on for months and months and months. Can you say months? Exactly. And then one morning, the whole wall had disappeared. But not just the wall. There was no sign of Mr. Mean's house either. That's strange, said Miss Splendid to herself. She put on her best hat and she went to investigate. When she got down to where Mr. Mean's house had been, she heard the sound of building coming from the other side of the hill. Ding, 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 ding. She climbed to the top of the hill. There she goes. What do you think she's going to see on the other side, Amber? And for the second time, she couldn't believe her eyes. There was Mr. Busy putting the finishing touches to a house that looked exactly like hers, but was even more splendid. Mr. Busy has built him a house.
Get your hand out of the way. I can't see your kids.
Excuse me. Looks good, doesn't it? Said a voice behind her. It was Mr. Mean. What? How did you... spluttered Miss Splendid. It was all those bricks that gave me the idea, said Mr. Mean as he grinned. All those free bricks. Little Miss Splendid didn't know what to say, so she didn't say anything. She went home to her splendid house. A splendid house, but no longer the most splendid house.